We're going to listen to it.
No.
Oh, God.
Not today. Okay, what did we say collar bachetto was?
It's when you hit with a stick.
Hit with a stick. You got that written down, Matt?
There we are.
Great. What's the piano doing then?
Listen.
Glissing. And the gliss gets bigger as you turn the page over and over and over. Okay, look at the otter and flute part. Does that remind us of anything?
Sounds a bit like that Les Mis song.
I was going to say it's not. Not that one, but
XYZ.
it's one of those, isn't it? Do you know which one?
Yeah. It would be X.
It's Z, Matthew Dione. It's imitation based on Z, and then the oboe takes it over. Pick has it again, and then we have some held notes. A little bit of the fanfare going on. That is in bar 20. Have you put bar numbers in?
They're already written now.
Great. So we're in bar 20.
So the fanfare held note.
Just kind of a held note fanfare, or a pedal is a different way of describing that. In the cor anglais, and in the low flute, and in the trumpet. Piano gets bigger, more instruments join in. What happens when more instruments join in?
Texture thickens.
Texture thickens, and therefore it gets
Louder.
louder. Easy thing to do with an orchestra, which is what he does here. If he wants to build effect, he gets them to play louder. More and more instruments join in, so it gets even louder still. The same imitation that we've just said from Z gets repeated and passed around some instruments until we suddenly land at figure 2 in G major. Why is that interesting and important?
Tonic key.
Yes, what about it?
An expected place to
It's
land.
G major.
It's not that it's unexpected, it is that it's the first time that we've actually solidly landed on a G major chord. So he's taken from the starts as far as figure 2 to actually land in G major properly. Okay, how would you describe... No, I'll let you finish writing first. Okay, if you look at the bottom line of the score, the double bass, how would you describe the double bass writing and also the flute writing?
Descending chromatic bass line.
A what?
They're in contrary motion.
Matthew says they're in contrary motion. What does Jordan say?
For the bottom one, is that
Yeah.
like a descending chromatic bass line?
Descending chromatic bass line is your offer. What's Amelia's suggestion?
Same as Jordan's.
Same as Jordan. Matthew was right. Chromatic would have to move through all the sharps and flats.
I meant just a descending bass line.
But chromatic's like a posh word to add in.
It's contrary motion because the double bass is moving downwards, and at the same time the flutes and the winds are moving upwards. So they're moving contrary to each other. They're moving in opposite directions to each other.
Double bass and the flute.
Or double bass. If you look, you've got the violas, the cellos, and the basses moving downwards, along with the horns and the bassoons. And then you've got most of the rest of the orchestra moving upwards. Yeah, hence contrary motion. Again, so he uses lower pitches and he uses higher pitches, as well as adding in more instruments. Therefore, it gives that feeling of it being really full orchestra. And I think at that point, you literally have just about everybody playing. Yeah? But he's taken from the start of the concerto all the way through to there to actually get to everybody playing in a big G major chord, which most composers would have started with, because it's in G major is what you do. Yeah? So it's just another example of how he's kind of messing around with the idea of the concerto. Now, we get to figure 2, and the trumpets, which is called tromba on your score, plays something. What does the tromba play?
X and Y.
Okay, do we remember what it was called? Its official title. How do we designate this tune? What was it called at the start? If you look at the tromba part.
Tromba.
I just put pentatonic flavour.
Oh, S1A.
S1A.
Oh yeah.
You've written that down.
Yeah.
It's really important that you learn these figures and these letters. So you've got S1A there in the trumpet before it was on the piccolo. The big difference being the piano stopped. So it's just orchestra.
So what do you write in there?
You write down trumpet solo playing S1A. Yeah. Accompanying it, you can see there's little bits of, there's the horns, there's trombone, harp, and a little bit of string chord. But texture has gone from very thick suddenly to very, very thin, with only a few instruments playing. So we have this orchestra moment. It plays S1A, carries on going, plays S1B at 30, 31, 32, 33. So S1B still played in the trumpet at bar 33.
That's S1B.
It's over the page at the start.
Yeah.
It's that kind of repeated pattern with a leap in it. Okay, S1B comes in, and then we get to figure 3, where we change from what we were doing earlier. Okay, at figure 3, look at the flute part in figure 3. So this is page 7, it's at the top, just about one line down. What's the flute doing there? Where have we seen that before?
S1B.
It is S1B again, but this time it's in B minor. Yeah, so you're at figure 3, key change into B minor. Key change into B minor, and S1B played by more and more instruments, more and more join the party, until we get to bar 41. Down to bar 41. Bar 41, it gets higher, it gets louder, it builds up, and then it suddenly collapses. So bar 41, big build up, and then sudden collapse. And you can actually, if you look at your score, you can see that it goes from being really black to having one instrument line kind of falling off the top, and then it drops down. Yeah, so sudden collapse at 41 into a cor anglais solo. Okay, that takes us into the next section. Now we're in sonata form. We've had the first subject. What comes next?
The second subject. Oh, the transition.
Transition. So figure 4 is where the transition starts.
What does mano, vivo mean?
Less movement, so it slows down a little bit. Two bars before figure 4, if you look at the strings, you've got notes that are based around F sharp, because it gets them ready for figure 4, which is in F sharp. Okay, so 2 bars before figure 4, chords are based around F sharp, getting it ready for figure 4 itself. Makes sense? So we're in figure 4 and it's the transition. Right, at that point we're going to listen through from the start through the transition as well. Okay.